Hello everyone, welcome back to Man United Fans Voice. This is Manolis. Throughout the years, a lot has been written and said about why has Manchester United failed to become dominant and win titles since Sir Alex retired. Why has Manchester United failed to be a consistently title challenging team despite changing so many managers and spending so much money? So in this video I will give you my opinion for the main reason for why Manchester United have failed since Sir Alex left. One thing that we saw happen in previous seasons with previous managers, and we've seen it happen again this season, is reports and rumours about Manchester United having players that are unhappy. Now I've seen some people compare the situation this season with the situation we had under Jose Mourinho, where we had a lot of reports suggesting that certain Manchester United players were unhappy and wanting to leave. But the truth is that these two situations are completely different, with almost nothing in common. The main reason for the problems under Jose Mourinho between him and certain Manchester United players was the way he chose to publicly behave and treat some players he felt were not doing what he wanted them to do. The main reason for the unhappy players this season is that the Manchester United squad has a bunch of players on their last year of their contract and others who feel they deserve more playing time. Players that think they deserve more game time is a result of bad recruitment. 𝗠𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗓, a midfielder who was brought in despite not fitting the style United wanted to play. 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗏, a player who was pushed so far down the pecking order because of two aging strikers who were brought in, although one of the fundamentals of the Manchester United DNA is supposed to be youth. And Henderson, who just suffered the misfortune of illness, injury, and a United team that was collapsing and was requiring the services of a keeper who thrives when United are under pressure, a world-class shot stopper. Manchester United have no hope in walking into a bright future when they are hanging so much on their past. Ronaldo, De Gea, Jones, etc. Bad recruitment led to having a bunch of mismatched profiles. Think of any team that plays a certain style of players and depends on their qualities. When that team goes into the transfer market to find a backup for one of their players, then they get the closest second best or better. Now think of Luke Shaw and Alex Telles, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diogo Dalot, Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek. United went and found completely different profiles. All these players serve different systems and styles. You simply cannot mix these players and expect a good outcome. It is impossible. The forward line was as big a catastrophe as neglecting the midfield. In 2020, United were heavily linked with Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish, Solskjaer's original plan. Both of them are wide creative players, something that United lack desperately. Why? Because United had Marcus Rashford on the left and Mason Greenwood on the right. Both of them are finishers first, not creators. But Anthony Martial and Bruno Fernandes provided a combination that helped United hold the ball in the final third despite the progression problems in the midfield. In 2020-21, United took Martial out and added Edinson Cavani. They also did something clever. They added Paul Pogba on the left. The combination now was Pogba, Fernandes, Cavani, Greenwood. Two shooters, two creators. And they also rotated Daniel James with Mason Greenwood to maintain the balance and work rate from the forward line. And now enters Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is also a shooter first. In fact, Cristiano relies heavily on the quantity of shooting to raise his number of goals. Ronaldo's presence meant that no longer Martial and Cavani can start in the midfield of the attack. Mason Greenwood started the season well, so he kept his place on the right side. Marcus Rashford's statistics from last season meant that he would still start on the left side, so that leaves United with a front line of 3 players who are all shooters first. No one that can hold the ball. And add to that the midfield problems who were not addressed. United lost the ability to hold possession both in the attack and the midfield. Lack of control in the midfield and forward line led to more turnovers than ever before. It led to the defense being constantly exposed and run at from every direction. The same defense who was 3rd best in the league in the season 2019-20 and 5th best last season is currently on course to concede the highest amount of goals conceded in the last 8 seasons or more. Take into consideration that this is after adding a 4 times Champions League winner Rafael Varane in that defense. Varane has many times looked like an average player in this completely unbalanced squad. Selling Daniel James, a 23-year-old, and buying a 36-year-old said everything that needed to be said. United lost balance, work rate, and the ability to hold the ball. This signaled loudly the change in the recruitment philosophy. United lost their vision, and this was the beginning of the end for the project of the last 2.5 years. Conclusion: if I were to simplify United's issues and go straight to the root cause of everything, it is recruitment. It is United's inability to recruit sensibly and offload players on time. It is United's inability to identify the profiles of the players they have already so they can get proper backups to those specific profiles and not just players who happen to play in the same positions. It is United's inability to have a squad of players that complement each other. From that root, the other problems spread. It becomes player problems. It becomes too many unhappy players, too many egos, managers facing a hard time trying to identify a specific style of play because they have a squad that has a bit of every style but not enough of one. Ralf Rangnick will need a lot of time to sort this mess out. However, he will need to have the power to completely change the recruitment strategy again and make them stick with one style and players that fit each other. United could have saved themselves so much trouble if they offloaded the players they needed to offload and filled the gaps they needed to fill in the summer of 2021. A certain Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could still be here and challenging for the title. Or at least United could be more competitive. Because right now, United can barely compete with the teams in the relegation zone. That's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to give me your thoughts and your opinions in the comments below. And I will see you all very soon. Glory, glory, Man United. Goodbye.